Hi, welcome back. This is Sanjay Kumar Verma from Unikaksha. So, my dear friends, now we are going to discuss how to create a VM instance in Google Cloud, right? Because Google Cloud is the third player in the market, but now it's going to capture the market in India and entire the world. And Google have a lot of data center in the world. So Google is a very big organization. So Google is also providing the cloud computing facility. So if I talk about of the Google Cloud, so in India we have an environment in PwC, Capgemini, HCL, TCS, and many more organizations. So friends, when you want to utilize the Google resources, so first of all you have to create a Google account, then you can utilize of the Google resources. So I have already created my Google account, so let's get started. So this is my Google Cloud platform, or you can say GCP dashboard, right? So my dear friend, one more thing, when you want to provision any kind of resources, so first of all you have a billing account in the Google Cloud platform. When you don't have the billing account, that means you can't provision any kind of resources. It's just like of Azure subscription. Same, when you will not create a subscription in Azure account, that means you can't provision any kind of resources. Same thing, when you will not create a billing account, you are not able to provision any kind of resources. So I will show you. I have already billing account. You can find out. Click over here, right? So when you will create a billing account, it will ask the credit card detail, then you can share of your credit card detail, then your account will be ready. So you can see this is my billing account ID, correct? And by default it will give you $300 for 90 days, right, for trial period. And after the 90 days your account will be deactivated. But if you want to continue, then they will debit the charges within your credit card which you have shared with the Google. So my dear friend, make sure when you are going to provision any kind of resources, so billing account should be there. If you don't have the billing account, that means we can't provision any kind of resources. I hope it is clear. So my dear friend, obviously I want to provision a VM instance. So we have a category that is compute engine. You can find out in the search bar, and you can go on the dashboard, right? So here there are different resources which is provided by the GCP, right? So go inside the compute engine. You can configure the virtual machines, right? You can get the disk, you can get the storage, you can get the snapshot, you can create the snapshot, right? You can get the images, correct? So let me click on virtual machines or VM instances, right? Then this page will be open, correct? So currently you can see I don't have any kind of VM. So what to do? We have to click on create instance. Okay, so always use the common sense. So friends, you can define the name. By default it will give you the instance one. You can give it any name, like this is the name web1, right? And my dear friend, you can get the monthly cost of this instance, right? Label, that means it's a same thing like in AWS tag, right? You can add the label, right? Just like that. Name, I said web server. This is not mandatory, but if you want to assign, you can do it, correct? Now reasons, that means in which region you are going to provision of these resources. There are different data centers are available in the world. So now I will show you the entire data centers. They have a data centers in America, right? They have a data center in Europe, and right now we are in India. So you can see Google have it two region in India. One is Mumbai and other is Delhi. So Delhi is nearby me, so that I will provision of this instance in Delhi data center. And right now we have three availability zone. One is A, B, C. You can choose anyone. So I'm going with A, correct? And now this is the type of the instances, right? General purpose, right? So you can see they have a different instances. They have a E2 instances, they have a N2 instances. As per your requirement, you can choose the instances, right? So E2 instance, that means CPU platform, they will give you 2 virtual core CPU and 4 GB RAM. And again, if you are going to different instance like N2, right? So here you will get 2 core of CPU, 2 virtual CPU and 8 GB RAM, right? So it's depend on your uses, right? And N1, that means 1 virtual core CPU and 3.75 GB RAM, and they will charge this cost for this. And when you want to get the compute optimized, you can choose the different. Here you will get the higher CPU and higher RAM, right? There are different series for the instances. Same like in AWS and Microsoft Azure. This is memory optimized instance, right? So you can choose. So now at this level, because I will choose the 1 virtual core CPU and 3.75 GB RAM, it's sufficient for us. Okay. After this, my dear friend, what to do? You have to choose the boot device where you will install the operating system. So what to do? By default, it's going to offer Debian, right? But I'm not interested with Debian. So we have to click on change. Perfect. So here you can select the operating system. If you want to select the CentOS, container optimized, Debian, Fedora, Red Hat, Rocky Linux, SUSE, Windows, right? Like that you can choose. For example, if you want to take the Windows, select the Windows, and here you can select the Windows edition. What you want? Windows Server 2004, 12, 16, 19, right? You can select like that. And if you want to select the Red Hat Linux, right? So you can choose the different distribution of the Red Hat 7 is available, 8 is available. Same thing if you are going to select with the CentOS 7, 8. So I'm going to select with this, and now you can get the size. So by default they are going to offer 20 GB. If you want to increase the OS disk size, you can do it. It's your choice. And there are different disk size or disk type. One is balanced persistent, extreme persistent, SSD persistent, standard persistent. So by default, Google is going to offer balanced persistent disk. So I have no problem. Okay, then click on select. Perfect. Okay, then now we have to allow the rule in the firewall. For example, if I want to configure a web server, then you have to allow the HTTP, right? And if you want to make it secure communication, you can also allow the HTTPS port number 443. It's your choice, right? So because this is a Linux based instance, so by default SSH is already allowed in the firewall, correct? So like that, if you want to add another disk, you can do it, but here I'm not going to add, right? Like disk, you can define of your network, you can define of your tags, what you want, correct? Now disk, you can add the disk, but I'm not interested with this, right? You can define of your own SSH key, you can define it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on create. Please wait. Yes, my machine name is web1. It's under process. So friend, my instance is ready. So let me select it. Now you can see this is the name, and this instance is running AP South 2A, which is Mumbai, and this is the private IP, and this is the public IP. Using of the public IP, I am able to access of this. And right now you can connect with the SSH. There are different way you can connect with the browser, you can connect with SSH key, right? You can connect with GC Cloud command, right? So it's your choice. You can also access of this virtual machine using of the Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell is available in Microsoft Azure. It is also available in AWS. So let me click on View GC Cloud. This is using of the GC Cloud. You can connect with this. So run in Cloud Shell. So please wait. My Cloud Shell is going to start. Correct, it's going to connect. Now you can see provisioning your Google Cloud Shell machine. Perfect. So now you can see this is the name of your machine. So press the enter. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now you can see currently if I hit sudo su hyphen, I am able to log in with the root, right? So let me hit the who am I, that I'm logging as a root. So friends, I am going to install yum install httpd -y. It's going to connect with Google repositories. Perfect. Let me check now. RPM query httpd package successfully installed. Okay, let me go inside where www.html. Perfect. Let me create a file echo. This is my web server running in Google Cloud. Okay, output should be available in this file index.html. Perfect. Let me start the service system ctl start httpd. Again, let me enable system ctl enable httpd. Perfect. Okay, so what to do? If this is reachable, let me copy of this public IP and let me paste now in the browser. Wow, that means my server is working successfully. So my dear friend, like that you can provision of your Google instances. So this is the idea behind of this. So thank you so much.